The St George Illawarra Dragons have reached an agreement for Ben Hunt to depart the club immediately, despite having 1 year remaining on his contract. I'm pleased to say the CEO of the St George Illawarra Dragons, Ryan Webb, is standing by. Ryan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, boys.
Ryan, I'll start by saying this. I think well done. I think well done. I think it's a decision. I love Ben Hunt. There's no doubt about that, and he deserves to be in the Australian side. But if we're playing Moneyball, it's a decision you just had to make, wasn't it?
I think for us, yeah, it was today. This has been, I think everyone's seen in the media that's Ben's been unsettled for a while now, and we've tried to work through that for a while as well. But when you put all the pieces together and look at where Ben's head was at, our performances and where we need to get to on the field, and then what the future looks like, making a bit of a clean break now was the right call.
Ryan, can I ask you this? We are chatting to Ryan Webb, the CEO of the St George Illawarra Dragons. Can you take us behind the closed curtain, so to speak? How does this conversation come up? Because I could imagine Flano's an old school. He's a plumber. I don't think he would have taken this too well. How does this conversation get instigated?
Yeah, probably back to the first one. It's not a one-off thing where it just becomes a conversation at something on the table. There's lots of little pieces that over time you have a bit of a conversation, you can see something doesn't feel quite right. And then there's another conversation where you say, yeah, someone else has noticed it or someone's verbalised it. And that happens over a couple of months. And then I'd say just in the last, we're talking about the last few days, sat there and thought, when we look at, we can see there was a few comments publicly made, with the Ben put out there and then that Shane put out there. And you could just see, I guess from my point of view and a couple of others are like, okay, we need to bring this to a head now because it's not going to work. And you could see things were going to ultimately affect the people, the other players and people around the club. So it sort of builds up slowly. Then I guess it came to a head a few days ago, and then you sit down and go, okay, guys, what are the one or two ways we can bring this to a close? And, that's how we got to where we did.
Ryan, can I ask you this question? And maybe you can't answer it, and I'd appreciate if you can't, but how does that conversation start? Like clearly it's got to a point which you've just articulated very well, but who picks up the phone, who speaks to who and says, righto, enough's enough?
Yeah, it's between someone at the club like myself and the manager. Generally, that's where the conversation is, because then you can just test the theories and say, how are you guys feeling? How are we feeling about this? And then it's almost the same conversation we had internally. How do we bring this to a close? Yep. It's the same conversation that you have there. And that's how you get a bit of a read on where everyone's at, a bit of a temperature check, and you just talk it through, and a few conversations follow, and that's how we work it through.
Ryan, Brian Fletcher, SEN Network. I'm putting my journalistic hat on.
He never does this, Ryan.
No, I never do this.
No, that's impressive.
Two questions, Ryan. Will the Dragons be paying any money towards his 2025 contract?
No.
No. Second question.
Good question, Brian.
Do you have, you don't have to name the player, have you got a player in mind? Actually, have you got a player who didn't play in 2024 agreed to terms in 2025 from another club?
No.
Who didn't play in 2024?
Didn't play for the Dragons in 2024.
Oh, okay.
You're saying, is there a new player on the radar? There's a few, there's lots of discussions and there always are, but I wouldn't go as far to say, answering your question directly, no, there's not one sitting there that
definitely, okay.
Yes, is right there.
Ryan,
hang on, I haven't finished
Okay,
yet.
sorry, Brian.
No,
sorry, Ryan.
Now, I brought up his stats. I don't have them exactly, but I know that he's on the top three Benny Hunt, top three, try assists, line break assists. Is that something that when you look at getting rid of Ben Hunt, that you look at their stats, or is it just more the off-field stuff that he wasn't happy and he wanted to go home?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. There's on-field and off-field. I also think when you look at stats for any individual player, you have to be careful because we won't go out now and look for a player to bring those stats to the team because we'd hope, teams will change. Someone else will step up and take a bit of the weight who's already in the team. the balance, I guess, the subtraction. You get addition by subtraction almost. You take one piece out, and it gives the chance for a couple of others to show their skills and take on a bit more of the weight. So the person we bring in doesn't have to be Ben Hunt clone. It can be someone else, and we just expect as a team, we'll all lift and we'll cover the gap that's been left.
Okay, what's the difference 12 months ago? Remember 12 months ago when Ben wanted out and Flano said, nah, he's staying here. What's happened in those 12 months? Is it Ben's form has dropped off a little bit?
No, it's not his form, Brian.
Or, this is what I'm trying to get to, is there someone else coming in? This is what I'm trying to...
No, it's not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's more, it happened 12 months ago and we worked really hard, and we've worked hard with Ben and we worked hard as a club, and we got it going another 12 months. But if it's rearing its head again, I think you don't want to go, you can't go through that again and try that again. We've had a go. We got 12 months out of it. That's probably it now. So that's the answer to that one.
Brian, 50% of marriages fail. This one just failed.
I understand this.
You know what, though? I've got to say this. And this is why, Ryan, and mostly when you come onto these sorts of programs, you get grilled, right? That's fair, isn't it, Ryan?
Yep, that's fair.
But on this occasion, Brian, I've been critical of the Dragons for signing many fixer-uppers. It's always a fixer-upper sort of place. But on this occasion, I have to applaud the Dragons because there's no way in the world Ben Hunt, so pretend the Dragons don't have him right now. There is no way in the world he would get that sort of money on the open market. So therefore, the Dragons have done the right thing. Combine that with the fact that he doesn't want to be there, and that's been very, very public.
I understand that, but Ryan, I feel, and I'm not a Dragons supporter, but I feel that you finally made the semi-finals after a little bit of a break, and
We didn't actually make them.
Well, sorry.
Oh, Brian.
Didn't make it.
He was going good as a journalist, wasn't he, Ryan?
Sorry.
Until that moment, he was going real good.
Sorry, knocking on the door. Could have won. Could have made the eight. Could have made the eight.
We were improving, definitely.
Improving, and on the back of Ben Hunt had a lot to do with it.
I get
and
that.
the other kid on the wing, Zach Lomax, who arguably your best attacking players. So you're almost at the door. So you've run 9th or 10th, and you're nearly there. Is it a case now, I'm a Dragons supporter going, well, where are we going to get our points from?
There's risk in this. There's no doubt there is on our side and probably on Ben's side. But to the Zach one, it's probably one I look at as an example where there was risk in when Zach went, and then an opportunity presented. Val Holmes probably would never have presented to us if we hadn't already made such a strong decision on Zach. So part of it is you've got to back yourself a little and have a bit of trust that by making a call like this, all of a sudden we're in the shop window a bit. If you're an upcoming half, and you can also all of a sudden see an opportunity at the Dragons to join us now and for a few years to come. But it puts us out on show and puts the open for business sign for that. So sometimes you've got to make a bit of a risky's not the word, but you just have to make a bit of a ballsy call now and back yourself in that a solution will appear.
Could you go down the road? Could you go down the road and knock on Cronulla's door and say
Brayden Trindall
or Daniel Atkinson? You've got two halves there. Have you just
Broncos will take him? Have
you inquired about either of those two, Ryan?
It literally only happened this morning, so we haven't inquired. There's a lot of players we've talked to around 26 already. So
who? Ryan, who? Just give us a hint.
Well, Ryan, I'll tell you
Just give us the initials.
Ryan, if you want to have a temperature sort of assessment, if according to this text board, the one player you need to sign is who, Brian? Tyran Wishart. They want to see the Steeler back into the Steel. That's what they want to see. That's what the listeners want to do.
Yeah, well, he's a great footballer, and there's a romantic part of it too to bring a Gerringong boy home. So, Wishart's name's been brought up a lot. But for 2025, most of these guys are signed. So there's discussions and plenty of talks have been had about the future beyond that. But I'd be lying if I said that there was one lined up ready to jump straight in for 25 at this time.
With your current roster, could you go into the round 1 2025 with someone within the organisation? Your halves, I mean.
I'm sure we could. Yeah, there's a young fella Lycan there who played a few games at the end of the year who could wear 6. Kyle could slide across into 7. So we could. But our plan is to we've got a good 4 or 5 months before the season starts. So we think that's plenty of time to have a look around and bring a couple more bodies in. We've got plenty of salary cap, and we've got 3 spots left now in our top 30. So we plan on filling that top 30 with the three more recruits. So, we think we can get a couple of bodies in there who'll do a great job.
I'm going to help you out.
Oh, no.
Ryan, I like you.
No.
Have you got Brayden?
Yeah, I'll explain this.
Have you got Brayden Astor's number?
Yeah.
Done. Okay, I'm just writing this down. So that was great.
Have you got Brayden Astor's number?
I've just wrote it down.
Why?
I don't have it.
I know why you're asking.
I don't have it.
No, I know why. Ryan,
Yes.
can I be completely transparent with you? This is the CEO of the St George Illawarra Dragons. I need to be completely transparent with you, Ryan. Now, you would know by this line of questioning from our man Brian, which is heavily out of character. He just said this. Have you got Brayden Astor's number? So what he's trying to do, Ryan, is he's trying to build up the stocks of Brayden Astor as a key manager in the game.
No, I'm not.
Brian,
no, I'm not.
You got tipped off today, and hello to Steve Crawley, who's listening to the program right now. He was tipped off. Steve Crawley's listening. Brian, if you want a shot at the NRL 360 to host it, today's your chance. And you're doing that, and poor old Ryan is copping this crap.
No. I'm saying this is what you do.
You got Brayden Astor's number?
Yeah, this is what you do when you're a journo.
Yeah.
You lead in.
You're trying to push Braith out.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Well,
Mate, I've read this book before.
Braith's a manager. Lachlan Ilias.
Yeah.
Lachlan Ilias to the Dragons. I remember when he made his...
Yeah.
I think he made his a debut or something down against you blokes.
Can you get your mate, if you're going to go to Braith's seat, you need to get your stats in order.
No,
okay?
look at his stats. I just think
you had Ryan playing in the semi-finals last year.
Who?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
the bloke we're interviewing.
I had him playing.
You had his team in the semi-finals.
Yeah, they should have. The destiny was in your own hands, and look what happened. Yeah. Oh, I see, because that was Benny Hunt there. Anywho, now, Ryan, what about your future? Was there whispers going around that you might be leaving or going somewhere else, or you're on the...
Not a whisper. I'm finishing up. Yeah, my contract finishes up early in the new year, so I'll be finishing up. And
what are you going to do?
I'll be coming in with a great club.
What are you going to do?
Looking for a radio gig.
Yeah.
Another guy jump at the 360.
Yeah, I could do with a co-host, Ryan.
You're never here. Yeah. You're never here, sugar.
Please.
Now, would you like to get it?
With a producer.
Would you like to get into like stay in sports, or would you like to get into finance?
I'm never here, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Still got a bit of time up my sleeve, so just seeing what presents over the next few months. I've been in sport for a while and enjoyed it, but we'll just see what presents.
Okay.
Can I ask you something? Cody Ramsey, like he was such a great. He is such a great kid, but we haven't seen him come back. What's the update on Cody Ramsey? Such a likeable, lovable rugby league player.
Yeah, Cody's. You've summed him up perfectly there. He's just a great guy, and he's working hard and still wants to get back and play NRL football. So Cody's still contracted to us. He'll be around the club and he'll be training, and with every intention to get him back to playing NRL football. But he's still got a fair way to go. The illness knocked him back a little bit physically. But he is improving, and if anyone's going to be able to do it, it'll be a guy like Cody Ramsey, who's just so driven and dedicated.
I hope he does.
And so the NRL have been really good in helping us work out a way to make sure we can keep him around without, and keep him motivated, I guess, and make sure he knows that ultimate goal is still there. We don't want to take that away. So he's fantastic. He's around the club. We're supporting him, and we'll continue to do that through next year as well.
Now, Ryan, this is a bit of a random question. How tall are you?
What?
How tall are you? I just want to know.
I hope Steve Frawley's tuned out, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this is going. I'm 6'2".
What did I say?
You're 6'1".
So did you know
leaders
CEOs?
Yes.
CEOs. The average height of a CEO is 6'1".
Yes.
So it must be something in it. It must be the tall power.
Yeah,
6'2" is pretty good. So that's why you'll never be a CEO.
I won't be a CEO. No,
you might
not
be. You're cleaner. Anyway,
Could I be a CFO, Brian?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could be a CFO.
How tall's your CFO, Brian?
Yeah, he's about 6'1" as well.
Oh, that's what. He's the white end.
Oh.
Is he taking your job?
Is he pushing out?
Is the old white end?
Ryan, do we actually know who's taken the role?
No. The board's still looking into that, so I'm sure that'll work its way out in the next couple of months.
Hey, Ryan, I'd like to say a big thank you, mate, because it'd be very, very easy with your tenure wrapping up at the Dragons to unsubscribe to an interview such as this, myself and Brian from NRL 360. But you've come up, you've stood up, you performed,
Yeah.
and you got it done, Brian.
Great chat. You bring the best out of us, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's,
I appreciate it, boys. No, I've enjoyed it.
Consolation.
I've enjoyed it. Entertaining, breaking up what's been a pretty long and tricky day, so it's been fun.
A couple of millions of texts coming through, Ryan. I don't mind reading out the bad ones too. Brian is killing you today, Joel, says 866. And then this one, how does this sound? The run home with Ryan and Brian.
That would be great. That would be great.
Do you like that, Ryan?
Yeah, well, keep it. Yeah, keep it in the memory bank. Might need to lean on that in a couple of months.
What's your favourite drink? We're going to send you a bottle of something. What's a Scotch man or a whiskey man?
Yeah, happy with that. Scotch is fine,
All
but
right.
no need for that.
No, it's
good.
happening.
It's all good.
It's
Just have
happening.
part of it.
Before we let the CEO of the Dragons go, St George Illawarra Dragons go, Ryan Webb, is there one last thing you want to achieve before you put the hang the boots up, so to speak, to use rugby league parlance?
Well, if I'm thinking of things with the Dragon, we've got a centre of excellence. So we've been working pretty hard on it. That's taken 4 years, I think, in my whole time there, and hopefully we'll be digging some holes and pushing some dirt around the next couple of months before I finish. So it's nice to see that underway and get going, because I think that'll be a game changer for the club.
Beautiful. Ryan Webb, you're welcome anytime, mate. And we look forward to hearing your next endeavour. Thank you for joining the run home with Joel and Brian. Or it is Ryan and Brian. Thank you very much, Ryan.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good man.
Great man, isn't he?